Small business insolvencies have reached record numbers, according to the country's corporate regulator. New data from ASIC shows 6,600 firms have gone into administration in the 6 months to September. That's a record. Slow economic growth and flatlining productivity has been blamed for the increase. Construction, accommodation, hospitality, retail, manufacturing, they are all the worst affected areas. And let's go back to Canberra now. Joining us is the Deputy Opposition Leader Sussan Ley. Sussan, thanks for your time. So a few records here that the government won't want. The highest number of insolvencies in a year, the worst quarter on record to September, the worst 6 months on record. So what do you make of that?
That's right, Pete. The worst 3 months, the worst 6 months, the worst 12 months. This is a shocking set of insolvency data. The worst data on business insolvencies on record, and that's pretty horrific for those businesses. And while we read the numbers on the front page of the papers today, remember that behind every statistic is a business who has gone broke, who has gone bust, and who can't cope. And for every single one of those businesses, there are plenty more that are struggling with rising costs of insurance, of interest rates. If you're a small business, you've often got your house mortgage to run your business. How can this government claim that they've got a proper economic plan, that they're running a responsible economy, and that they're putting measures in place that actually protect and allow businesses to flourish with this sort of data?
Well, you mentioned it's not just the businesses. I mean, it's the flow-on effects, the families as well. Beyond that, and I notice just on a lot of the stats, I mean, a lot of the businesses, they're not taking cuts themselves to be able to survive. What they earn is just going back to the business.
Nobody's paying themselves a wage in these tough times. Or when I say nobody, very few. Yeah. I've never seen it so bad. And yes, you know, they're doing incredibly long hours. They're up first thing in the morning, opening their business with a smile on their face. You know, sometimes dealing with very few customers, but dealing at the end of the day with a lot of paperwork and a lot of stress and a lot of heartache. And everyone's small business is their dream. It's something that they and their family work incredibly hard for and they give up a lot for. Well, today we see the worst ever rate of business insolvencies on record. And I want this Prime Minister and his team to explain and take responsibility and actually demonstrate that they care, the first thing they should do, that they care, and that they've got a plan, because there is no plan.
OK, still on the Prime Minister, he apologised again last night in a late night appearance in the House for his use of the term Tourette's towards Angus Taylor. Do you accept that? Does the opposition accept that?
Well, his weak leadership has been well and truly on display, and this is all about the character of Anthony Albanese. So using disabilities as an insult in the House, failing to unilaterally support Jewish Australians in the motion that was before the House yesterday, and it's only Wednesday, Pete, so it has been shocking for the Prime Minister. Sure,
but now that you've got just on the topic of Tourette's, he's apologised a second time. Does that put an end to that matter?
Look, he has apologised. He left it to the last possible moment of the day yesterday when Parliament was about to close for the evening. It does demonstrate that he's under pressure. He's under pressure on a lot of fronts. Of course, he should never have said it, but then he should have apologised graciously at the moment that he said it, instead of the sort of reluctant words that he issued that you saw on your report just then, and then waiting until right at the end of the day to actually apologise properly to all Australians with not just this syndrome, but disabilities. It's just not on. And again, it goes to his character.
We'll leave it there. Sussan Ley, thanks for your time.